guys, and welcome to Janet being Janet. Okay, first, foremost, everything, right? This is a retro react, which means it's an older video, and I want to express my opinions on it, kind of like I was doing. And Miss Katie struck one where she was looking all bad, we're going to say. She was stressed out and everything else. And so I can't even tell you, before I came back, I spent hours editing those videos. And I know this is probably one she would strike if she could get her hands on it. So instead of me reading all of my hard work, instead of y'all just being able to see that, I'm going to speak through it and give my opinions as I go. Because y'all know that I'm opinionated, right? We all know that. So I want to go ahead and tell you that this is just me running my mouth. It really is. I don't say anything that's fact or anything, but do I call her out? Yes, I do. Okay? It's just something I do. But I wanted to go ahead and give you that little preface because some people don't know whenever I put retro, it means older, because I got a couple more I need to do this way. Because I'm not going to sit here and let her find out that I'm just putting them on the screen and her take it from me. I don't want that again. So we're going to have fun with this one. Why? Because her hair fell out. Her own fault. Does she take accountability? Heck no. I haven't watched this in a little while. I just remember a little bit of what it's about. All right, Janet, shut up. I can say that to myself. Shut up and let's get into this. Okay.
Hey everyone. How are you guys? It's Katie. This has been a day, an emotional one.
Ooh, okay, do y'all hear that? Y'all hear that? She's got emotions. You know, she's got sad, she's got happy, she's got empathy, she's got caring, she's got snobby, she's got hatred. Let's go ahead and keep going and seeing what she's got and what she don't got. We'll just leave that in her own little mind, won't we? Yep, we will.
And I had a haircut, as you can see. And wow, today was very I don't even know.
If you do not know what you're doing and what you're saying, why the heck are you live? Why? I know what you're doing. I know you're wanting pity, and you ain't gonna get pity over here, because this channel don't give Miss Katie pity, now do we?
If you guys understand like what it's like to go through something and have the physical component of what you're going through sort of, or the emotional component of what you're going through manifest on yourself physically.
Physically, woman, let me tell you something. Ain't nobody gonna see you physically because you like to only come online whenever you think you look good. Now, you don't even come online at all. You don't. Your videos, you're doing a voiceover for now, and you said that you weren't going to be showing your face until you felt comfortable. So when do you feel comfortable? When are you going to feel comfortable, huh? Just asking you.
And that is what happened to me. So today, I had to get my hair cut off.
Why did you have to get your hair cut off, Miss Thing? Why'd you have to get your hair cut off? Huh? Huh? Why'd you have to get your hair cut off? Were you too stressed out and it was falling out? Is that what? Yeah, I think that's it.
It seems such but component. I actually was sitting.
That was her computer messing up, not me. So you blame her for not knowing how to work her own daggum technology, because I admit when I don't.
With my hairstylist, whose name is Nikki, by the way. She follows me. So does her fiance. So hi, Nikki.
What does that have anything to do with this live? You're just gonna say, "Hey, my hairdresser is subscribed to me. I'm so lucky. My hairdresser is." Well, my hairdresser is subscribed to me, and she don't even know who the crap Katie Joy is. She don't give a crud who that is. And I say Miss Katie, y'all say KJ, y'all say Katie Joy, y'all say Katie Joyless. I mean, y'all say what you want to say. You know I don't care.
If you're watching, thank you for fixing my hair. Thank you guys for the compliments. My husband said it makes me look a lot younger.
You do understand, ma'am. You do understand that husbands have to tell their wives they look good no matter if they look good or not. It's kind of an unwritten rule that it has to happen.
I don't know. I'm still getting used to it. I'm definitely still getting used to it. It's not Brittany 2008 Mindy, not even a little bit.
Somebody done told her she was having a mental breakdown. This woman, I'll tell you something, her audience is just, sometimes they're the best and sometimes they're just brown nosers.
Not even a little bit. The reason why I had to cut my hair off was because this past fall I went through something pretty crazy.
You got involved in them Amber tapes, didn't you? You just didn't know that backlash that was coming. You weren't thinking about that now, were you?
Professionally, and my hair fell out. That's what happened. So I was in sort of the middle of one of the most exciting times of my career. I had gotten a story.
You had gotten a story. You got Amber Portwood's tapes, and you didn't think about how anybody else was going to come after you for them tapes. I have a blind dog. I'm sorry. You didn't think about anybody else coming after you with those tapes. And let me tell you something, okay? Let me tell you something. I wouldn't want Amber on my case. You know what she does. But you chose that. You did. You chose to release them videos. Ooh, you made a bad choice, but you didn't care.
That I was able to help put out into the forefront and get a lot of people to talk. And I was able to do something where I felt like completely empowered.
You felt empowered by getting private tapes from someone, and you were the only one that got those tapes. So you were releasing the tapes, and as you were releasing the tapes, people were tuning into you a lot more. So the power you felt is just you dishing on somebody else and making somebody else look like crap. I know what Amber did. I know what Amber did. But that's not the point of the situation. The point of this right here is her complaining because she's the one that released them. Yeah. It's not her fault, though. It's your fault. It's your fault. It's not her fault. She's just doing her job.
Empowered and motivated, and like I had this like sense that like what I was doing was going to help people, and it was really going to make a difference. And it also brought a lot of attention to my channel.
Oh yeah, it brought a whole lot of attention to your channel. A whole lot. Even Amber friends and fans. Yeah, they came after you, didn't they? They did. They came after you and they let you know exactly who you are and what they think of you. And you did not like that one little bit at all. Because Amber already told you, don't you sell them tapes. You better not threaten to sell those tapes. They're not your tapes to sell. I don't know how you got your hands on those tapes. And I don't know how you get half of the people in your comments or in your DMs that you get in there. But you had to have learned your lesson with this one, right? You'd think so. No. No, she still gets her exclusives, even if they're wrong.
And when that attention came to my channel, whether there was a lot of good that came with that, but then there was also a lot of not so good that came with that. And that also brought a lot of people that were not happy with me. And that also brought a lot of people that wanted to ride the wave of what.
Was it worth it? I cut you off, but was it worth it? Honestly, if you look at it now, people still remember you from the Amber tapes. And I know that. I do. People still remember you. And I remember people following you because of who you would get on your live stream. Like Matt.
I had sort of worked for, and it all sort of like manifested into an tidal wave of all of these different things happening, all of these different people connecting, all of these different people trying to cancel me.
Listen to that. Okay, the video that she struck of mine is her being canceled. She came online and she was looking rough. But I went ahead and I did a video on it and what I thought about the video. It got to 90 views and she took it. So do I think with her, you know, telling this right here, do I think that she would want to take it? Yeah, I do. That's why I am going to speak through it instead of just type through it like I used to.
All of them trying to get a piece of my pie, or, you know, right or wrong or whatever reason. Like, today isn't about talking about what the actual drama was. It's really just about what it did to me.
Lady, what it did to you, that's what you want to talk about? Let's talk about what it did to other people. And you had people in your comment section, in your DMs, like I said, you had people in there. And I want to cover one thing with you. One thing. You have a pattern of using somebody and dropping someone, just like Amy here recently, right? Or not recently. I just talked about her recently. But you have a problem of using people and then just gone. That's what you do. You just throw them in the trash can, shut the lid, and send them. And one person you did that to was Matt. And I think that was teetotal bullcrap, because without him on your daggone channel, you wouldn't have got half the subscribers that you got. And then you want to sit here and you want to turn on him? Yeah, you didn't have Amber herself like what you wanted. You had him. And he was being very, very, very nice to you by coming on your channel in the first place. I don't care how you feel about Matt. I don't care if y'all like Matt, if you don't like Matt. I don't care. That's not even part of it. I just remember whenever I was watching her during this whole thing of Amber Tapes, because that's where I got introduced to her, this whole entire ordeal, I saw her subscribers and her views going up when Matt was on her channel. That's what I want to say. And then she flipped on him. She's not, my opinion, only my opinion, that's all this is ever going to be, and for your entertainment, but she's not a good person to line up with. And unfortunately, these people that she gets in her DMs, they have to learn on their own, and there's nothing you can do. And I'm sorry for that little rant, but you know what? I watched her channel grow during that little bit of time. I certainly did. And she was not a good friend back then.
So in the middle of everything, I put out the audio related to Amber Portwood, which brought a ton of exposure to my channel. Now, some people will say, well, you hadn't had any sort of, I didn't even know
people didn't know who you were until you got on those and got a hold of those private tapes, and then you used that to every advantage you could possibly use it for.
Before that, I didn't know what you were doing, and to which I'll say that's fine. But that wasn't my first story. It wasn't my first rodeo.
Hey, speaking of rodeos, you want to know something? You want to know something? People call me the horse lady, right? They call me all kinds of things, you know, and they always want to see my horses. You know something funny? She made Kale mad. Kale Lowry mad. And so Miss Kale got her revenge on whom? Katie? By posting a video calling her crusty balls. I have a video on that. And somebody reminded me of that. So that right there made her so mad. Oh my goodness gracious. She had to go online just to protect herself from that. So when you released the audio for Amber, you also got yourself a little backlash from Kale. So that whole Team Mom situation, you messed it up bigger than ever. And it's your own daggum fault.
For a year, over a year prior to that, I had been working on working at a website, working as a contractor on a website called Pathios, and I had a daily blog called Without a Crystal Ball.
Okay, so that blog that you're saying is a daily blog. You're not saying you're a journalist. You're not saying you're a reporter. You are a blogger. That's what you are, a blogger.
And on my column and on Pathios, I covered a lot of different topics. But I did a little bit of mix of me, where we would do some blogs about myself.
No, about your son. Mainly about your son and how hard it was. Just saying. Keep going.
Which I still feel like I do a little bit here. Like, I try to mix in myself into the stories. I covered a lot of different topics. I did bad moms. I did pseudoscience. I did stuff related to current stories.
You talk about current stories, let me tell you something, okay? Some of y'all don't know this, but let me go ahead and tell you. So I did this video over something that she posted back on Pathios. And this was years ago. Okay, so I post this video, and it was about straws or something like that. Next thing I know, I have Todd in my comment section having a conversation with me. And me, like I said, I replace people with other people. You know, I don't think of the celebrity. I don't think about, you know, how high up they are. I don't think about none of that. And it just so happened that Todd had a conversation with me, and he told me Miss Katie is not a bad person. And we only did it in video form, you know. And I went ahead and made a video, so nobody said, oh, you're talking to him behind my back. No, I made a video, and I made that completely clear. And there were times when people were going after Todd for stuff that wasn't even his dag-blame fault. And, you know, for whatever reason, he chose to talk to me. That was perfectly fine. I don't care. I talk to anybody in the comment section. You know, I would have talked to Miss Katie before she struck me if she would have been nice enough to say something, you know, to reach out. Not a problem, because I don't believe in that. But when somebody says she is a good person, she doesn't even stick by her words. Her words is she's not going to take down anybody. Well, you know what? She's a liar McLiarson. That's what she is. Sorry, I went on a rant. Sorry, I just had to say that. Todd said I wasn't a bad person, and she's striking me. Total opposite here.
Missing children, stuff that was going on in the churches, like with the Catholic Church, stuff was going on at the time that I was writing there, so I wrote about that. Covered the Duggars and all of that stuff there as well.
Yeah, and nothing has changed. You still cover the Duggars, and the Duggars are pretty much your payload right now. They are still to this day, they are.
So, and I was on an atheist network, but I never really considered myself an atheist. I was always sort of like a humanist. That
yeah, you're not going to say you're an atheist because people got onto you for that.
Just believes in people.
You don't believe in people, you believe in yourself. That's all you believe in. You believe what you do is right and nobody else can match what you do. That's what you believe in.
So I covered trials, I covered moms that did stuff to their kids. It was a mess. And so
pretty much you covered the same thing back then as what you cover now. Yeah, just whatever is popular at the moment.
I had exposure before. Like I had worked with NBC News. I had worked with the Daily Beast. I had been quoted in the Washington Post.
Big deal. People can see who you are online, you know, and you can appear one way online, and then people can see you in the background. Go ahead, boost yourself up. Go ahead and brag about yourself. But now, do you say anything about that? No, that's not what you talk about now. You don't talk about all your history of, you know, being all this big mighty thing, because nobody knew who you were until Amber.
So it wasn't like I wasn't used to the exposure, but the difference was when I was writing, nobody knew who I was. Like they only just knew my name, right? Like
people didn't know. Some people didn't even know your name. They didn't. I mean, you could look in captions, but in comments going, who are you? Where did you come from? How did you get these tapes?
Like they just saw my name on the byline. They didn't have a face to connect it to. And so when I did the story with Amber, it was different. It reverberated everywhere, but it also put my face on the target.
Okay, so now you're complaining and you're whining and you're moaning that you were a target, right? It's your own fault. Here's my question to y'all. Y'all answer this for me, okay? Here's my question. If you had information on Miss Amber Portwood, private stuff, and Amber was in a mood at the time, would you release it and then ask for pity? Would you? Or would you release it and say, okay, I did this. It's my own fault. It happened. I did it. Which one would you do? This is what Miss Katie's doing. It's not my fault. It come across me and my desk. I published it. And so I have every right to the story. Then Amber has every right to come after you.
It made my face a target. And I wasn't necessarily prepared for that. And people say that when you start on YouTube, the first year is crazy. And I will say I'm just finishing my first year. I'll be the end of this month.
So imagine that, guys. In her first year, she got the Amber videos. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just ask me, and then I can do a video if you want me to do a video. I mean, it was a big, huge thing. But whenever she got a hold of the Amber tapes, that's what, like I said, that's what boosted her up. But people still didn't know who she was. She was this crazy lady that was taking Amber on head to head, pretty much is what people thought.
And it has been more than I could have ever hoped for in terms of the growth, in terms of everything that I've been learning, in terms of like the good and the bad.
What have you learned? Still to this day, what have you learned? You put stuff out that you really shouldn't put out, and then you cry about it.
And learning about all of that different stuff. But it's also been really humbling, and at times really gut-wrenching, and at even more times at a point where I really wanted to quit, and I wanted to.
Then why didn't you quit? Why did you quit? Why are you still online? Why didn't you quit if it was that big of a deal? Oh, I know why. Because it wasn't a big deal to you. It was all about growing your channel. It wasn't about other people's feelings. It wasn't about that. It was about growing your channel. And you got a lot of subscribers your first year, so pat yourself on the back for being the kind of person that you are.
You just stop, and I wanted to hide, and I just didn't want to keep going. And, in the summer leading up to everything that happened to me, I became involved in this.
Everything that happened to you. You are the victim. You are the one that deserves the pity. You're the one that doesn't deserve any guilt whatsoever at all, or accountability. Because that is not something Miss Katie should have. She's just reporting.
Story, and this never got a ton of views because my channel was very small, but I took a keen interest in the James Charles and Tati Westbrook feud because I could.
Ooh, woman, you want me to get into all that? I'll get into all that with you. We're gonna set up all prim and proper. I haven't seen this in a while, guys. I really haven't. So let's snap to it and let's do this. See, I came from a whole different community whenever I came across Miss Katie. Whole different community. So I know all about the stuff that she's going to be talking about. I think. If she doesn't talk about this one, hopefully she will, and then I'll be able to correct her again.
See very clearly from the outside looking in that two creators, Jeffrey and Tati, were going after another creator because they were either jealous, they were angry, they wanted something.
Okay, so who she's talking about is Tati Westbrook. And y'all remember that name, right? Y'all remember that name? Tati's the one that came after, and Miss Katie folded faster than a deck of cards, didn't they?
And they wanted what he had, and they were going to get what he had, and it didn't matter if it was truthful or not. And that was my opinion. That was
your opinion, but the problem was how you were going about expressing that opinion. You didn't have all the facts at the time.
And during that same time, I got to know James Charles' mom, Christy.
You got to know her, and you got to know information about James as well. And the problem is when you got done with her, you threw her too. But a mom is going to say what they want to say about their child. A mom's going to defend their child. That's what they're supposed to do. Look at James Charles now. Look at him now. Look at Tati now. Tati is thriving. She's doing so good now. You didn't know half of it. You only knew what you were wanting to know, and you only spoke to the people you wanted to speak to. And you still got things wrong in that.
Who has still been a friend to me to this day. And it was through Christy that I really understood the magnitude of what.
You understood the magnitude of exactly what? Of the things that he did? The things that he was accused of? Yeah. How do you feel now after all of these years? How do you feel now after all of these years? Finding out that, yep, you were wrong. How many apologies has James Charles issued? Huh? How many has he issued? But, you know, you weren't wrong, were you? No, you're a reporter. There ain't no way that you're wrong. It was on the news, him losing so many subscribers. Miss Katie, however, knows the facts, knows what he's going through, everything. Come on, Miss Katie, I remember all that.
James experienced and what the ripple effect was to the family, how it impacted his life, how it impacted her life, what the things that were said about him on such a grand scale.
Exactly why are you talking about this? Just asking. I thought this was about your hair falling out. Or are you bragging that you got to talk to James Charles's mom? Because I remember that. I remember the whole bragging issue. Oh, woman, you would strike this faster than ever if I would have left them words up there. Because them words up there are saying a lot more than my mouth is.
Could follow him for the rest of his life, right or wrong, without any substantiation. All these people suddenly believed because she put up a 45-minute video, all of these things, which proved to be false.
Okay, so she is Tati Westbrook, okay? And it just so happens that Tati and Jeffree Star is the one that started telling Tati, so Tati made the video, and the video was about James, because Star was supposed to have, you know, evidence, and what Tati read, or Tati heard, she was already disturbed by in something else, okay? And then it comes out, I'm telling you, okay? So it comes out a little bit later that, you know, it was all wrong, and James posts the video, and everybody goes against Tati, and this, that, and the other. Well, a thing happened with Tati and Shane Dawson, and if she talks about that, I get right into that. Come on, Miss Katie, come on.
And I spoke out about that because I didn't like what I was seeing. I never realized that at some point I would become a target like that at a much smaller scale. I'm not comparing myself to James.
Good. Don't compare yourself to him, because now a bunch of text messages have come out and a lot of people think a certain way about James Charles. They do. But, you know, people that wanted to choose to believe him because of, or believe Tati in them for a certain reason, you were telling them, no, that's not correct. And then look at what happened to Shane Dawson. Shane Dawson is canceled over the whole entire thing. But Shane Dawson being canceled still to this day about other reasons, kind of the same thing, you know, and James Charles hasn't built himself back up either, because all these things are being exposed about both of them. Miss Katie did not look at everything whenever that happened. Yes, I was around for the Amber tapes, okay? I was. She didn't look at everything that was going on. She picked her stance and she stayed on her stance. I'm a little in this one, right? I can't stand it when people lie and don't know what they're talking about, but they still talk about it, and then they want to come online, pity me, pity me, pity me. And that's what the other creator does that I cover. So shut up, Janet.
Charles, I don't have 16 million subscribers, but I also know what it's like to have people spread things about you that aren't true, and I know what it does to you emotionally.
You don't know what it does emotionally to you, and here's the thing. Even though James Charles was canceled at that time, by Sista, even though he was canceled, you still didn't want to speak against him, because if you spoke against James Charles, his fans were coming for you. Didn't matter, because it didn't matter who you were, how many subscribers you have, or anything. You were going to have his fans in the comments section. It was just going to happen. She's lucky she didn't catch that.
I remember watching a video. He did an interview, I think it was with Paper Magazine, and he's Are
you blocking somebody for telling you the truth? Huh? I couldn't get the live chat, but she looked like she's blocking somebody.
Can you guys, can my moderators in chat please keep the chat on track?
You're not on track. Woman, you're talking about something else. Talk about your hair falling out.
I just don't want to, I want to really keep the topic onto what we're doing. I don't want any side conversations about other trials and stuff. So,
lady, I have been on your channel for a long time. I now watch you as a member of the anti-KJ community. And there's a reason for that, because I remember things you did way back when, and I didn't agree with them then, and I don't agree with them now. Y'all are like, Janet, you're on her. She struck my good video. So I'm going to get everything in on this one that I possibly can get in.
Okay, sorry about that. So I wanted to, yeah, Mindy Morning says, never believed her. That was terrible. She said she felt like a mother figure, but no mother would ever do that.
So no mother would ever do that, and you know exactly that, right? Yep, you know all about about a good mother. You know all about that. I remember you telling stories about your mama, and I remember you telling stories about Mother's Day too.
So yeah, that's kind of how I felt, which is why I stuck up for James. And it was because I stuck up for James that I ended up connecting to Christy, because every other drama channel was too interested in riding the hate wave of going after him, because it was going to get them.
Lady, you don't even know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. You're making up excuses. And you know what excuses are? You know what excuses are. That's what you're making up.
The most views than they were in actually objectively looking at the situation for what it was, and really calling out what was going on around it.
See, she's trying, what she's doing is she's redirecting you, okay? Because this started out, and I haven't seen this in a while, but I know at the time it took me like 3 hours to edit this daggum thing, and I can't even post it to you. So this started out with her hair, right? Then it went to Amber Tapes. Now we're on James Charles. But she's always like, don't get me off track, you're sidetracking me, you're derailing this, and it's always somebody else's fault, even though she's the one talking about it. This lady knows no accountability whatsoever at all. No matter what she's talking about, you can say you're wrong, you can show her proof that you're wrong, and it does not matter. Hopefully she talks about Shane Dawson.
And I feel like on a much smaller scale, that is kind of what happened to me. And I had a lot of people come together, whether they had a real grievance for me or not, or a perceived grievance, or
yeah, those people today can be called anti-KJ. Just so you know, if you need to join the group, you can join the group. You know how you join your group? The group, get blocked by KJ, because that's a group too. Get blocked by her, unfollow her, and then go follow somebody that talks about her. And you're part of the anti-KJ community, in my eyes. In my eyes. Maybe not other people's eyes, but in my eyes, it doesn't take that much. Once you see who she really is and how she really is, you'll be on our side. Or you'll be one of us. Or we accept everybody. Almost everybody. Yeah. I don't even be talking for the community. Shut up, Janet.
They felt like I had done them wrong, or they had been blocked from my channel, or whatever the reason. They all banded together, and all of these untruths started getting cascading. And I was at a very vulnerable part in my channel.
You were at a vulnerable part that you put yourself into, and you don't want to say, I did it. It's the person's fault that gave you the tapes. That's what you're saying.
Because I was on an onward trajectory. I was growing very fast, and as quickly as you grow, you can halt and you can stop.
And that's what you were afraid of. You would cover anything you possibly could. And you were afraid of, you know, hey, if I don't get the first, because she used to be the one to first get that story out. That's what she would. She'd be on top of it first thing. She'd know more than anybody else knows. And then sometimes she'd have to come back and people would say, you're wrong. You're wrong. You gave the wrong information out. You did this. And she's like, no, that's what I knew at the time. That's what was happening at the time. But she never said, oh, now this is happening. Oh, no, especially if it made her opinion look bad in the first place.
And I was afraid that what was happening to me would completely derail everything that I had worked on, and the reasons why I was doing what I was doing, and all of those, my goal with this channel. And my goal with this channel has...
Your goal with this channel right now is to hit 400,000 subscribers, and guess what? You did. You did. By lies, manipulation, and you need to thank the Duggars, and you need to thank Sister Wives, because that's mainly who your people watch. When you start adding anybody else in there, you don't get hardly any views. I hate to tell you, honey, you stuck on your little topics like I'm stuck on mine, but I'm trying to do more because Katie gets annoying, okay? Miss Katie gets absolutely annoying sometimes because she does the stupidest stuff. And it's like common sense does not exist with her.
Always been very simple. I am a storyteller. I am a truth seeker. I am somebody that likes to push people's boundaries and thoughts, and I like to get people to talk and think about things.
Ooh, what happened when you got Clark Swanson to talk and think about things, huh? The woman you're trashing in here, Tati Westbrook? Oh, what all happened with that? Maybe you shouldn't have trashed her in this video. Maybe. I wonder if she knows you were trashing her. Just wondering.
I like to get people to see beyond what the headline says and maybe see a little bit deeper than the very surface level of things. I want people to leave my content and leave my
You should want people to leave your content and not come back is what you should want. But that's not what you wanted. You begged and you pleaded and you did everything you could, like I said, to get the story out first. And I can give you that. You got the story out first. You really did. That's why people started coming to your channel constantly, because you were right there on top of things. But it's like, how many hours did you spend just to be right there on top of things? Were you on social media at the time to make sure whenever that was posted that you could jump on board? That's what I think. And I think you still do it today.
Leave my channel feeling energized and thinking about new things and seeing things a different way and talking to each other and cultivating discussions about things and potentially like changing their mindset without, like, I'm not out here to change your thoughts. I'm really just out here to like provoke you to think.
See, she's out here to provoke you. She says, she describes herself all the time, okay? She does. The problem is most people don't pay attention to the things she's saying, you know, in that regard. Me, whenever I listen to her, I'm like, that's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's what I do. A lot of people don't catch her like that, but I catch her in a lot of stuff.
And I also want to advocate and stand up for people. And I also want to use my platform responsibly and be a role model and be an advocate and be the person that I am. And I'm a humanist.
You're a humanist, right? That's what you are. You are a humanist. But you want all these goals for your platform. Now look at you. Now look at you. You got one of your goals. Your goal was to reach 400,000. You did. You begged and you pleaded and you did everything you could in every single video here recently to get people to subscribe to you because you were so desperate to hit that number. And Emily D. Baker, you were in a race with her, right? She beat you so bad in the scores up top, man. You think you grew fast? Oh, Miss Baker. Ooh, she grew faster than ever, and boy, did it light your pants on fire.
I love people. I love speaking out for the underdog. I love advocating against discrimination.
So James Charles was an underdog, right? His mama was an underdog. And y'all were friends. You and his mama were friends. What happened to that friendship? Are you still friends today? Can you call her up and go, hey, what are you doing? Can you do that? Can you walk around your house on your phone just talking to her? Can you? Just wondering. Just wondering.
Love those things, but I also know that when I do those things, like I advocate against domestic violence of somebody who's on a reality show.
Oh, okay. Now I get it. Right now, this pertains to her with DV and what's going on with Blake and Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds and Justin Baldoni. This is her whole thing of, I advocate for DV. Now you know where she said it.
Who has a large fan base. When I did that and I shared the audio, it made me a target to all of her fans that hated me for doing it. And then to all the other people that...
Woman, you started backpedaling faster than ever because Amber came out on video and said, you better not sell my tapes. And you backpedaled. Whew, did you backpedal? You did not like that whatsoever at all when Miss Amber was calling you out. So some of your channel grew from Amber fans because they wanted to be on there and they trashed you every bit of way they possibly could at the time.
Wanted to have released it and all of the other things in between. Everything came to a head in November. And for a long time, I was able to sort of put my head down and not think about it and not.
And Maury says that's a lie. Once you get a story in your head and once you get going on a story, a topic, whatever you want to call the people, you just go. I mean, it just continues nonstop, constantly. And like I said, the only way you could have got the information as fast as you could on, what was going on at the time, every time an update was coming, I think it's because you were online right then. I think you were watching everything you possibly could watch and whoever you could possibly watch to get the information off of them. Because at one point you gave out some incorrect information and you did not take accountability for that. I think you deleted the video.
There was so much hate coming my way. There was videos, there was channels, there was so many channels popping up. There was channels dedicated to me. There was other YouTubers criticizing me, which I didn't care about. But
oh, yes, you did. You care to this day about people criticizing you. You care more than anything about people criticizing you. And the one thing you can't stand is to hear that you're wrong. You cannot stand that at all. You will do anything in your power to prove that you're not wrong. Well, hate to tell you, you ain't always right.
It was constant. But it sort of got to a point in November when my son was brought into it, who is not on this platform.
You always say your son. You used to always talk about your son. You used to always say, hey, my son, my son, my son, my son. My son is special needs, but you know what? The actions I make are the actions I make. It doesn't matter. They're my actions.
And who is not a part of this channel, not a part of my content. And his life started being dissected. And it was really very...
You know what? I think still to this moment, I don't think I know who was coming after her son. I don't think I remember that. I don't know if I left too soon or what. But like I said, when she started giving misinformation back then, that's when I was like, you got two things going wrong with you.
That was the hardest thing for me. Truth be told, that was the hardest thing for me. And I got very stressed out. It caused a lot of issues in my house. Like, I was not sleeping.
Woman, you are the one that made me start my channel because my son heard you say something about your son being able to hurt somebody else because he's autistic or something along those lines. My son heard that. And he goes, who is that? And it was you that I was watching, just to see if you had changed your tune or whatnot. You didn't. No, you didn't. You just kept going, my son, my son, my son, my son. And then you say, don't bring up my son. My son's not part of this, but my son, my son, my son. Don't bring up my son. He's not on my channel. Kind of like you did over on TikTok.
I could not eat. I was crying all the time. There was a night that somebody did something about my son, and I don't even remember what it was. They were doing a video or something about his...
Lady, nobody, here's the thing. Let me tell you something. Let me put a little truth out there for you. Let me learn just something. Nobody would know about your son if you didn't tell about your son. Nobody would know what's going on with your son if you wouldn't tell about your son. Anytime you'll get yourself in, my opinion alone, every time you get yourself in trouble, or you used to get yourself in trouble, it was my son. This is what's happening with my son. I don't have medication for my son. I got a new bathtub for my son. My son's going to be with me for a while. It was a constant thing at the time. You are to blame. You will not take responsibility. People that know about your child is because you told them about your child. Yeah, I'm passionate about that too.
Medical conditions and dissecting whether or not he had things that I know he has and whether or not I'm doing things for attention. And whether or not, he's faking things, or I'm faking things, or I'm doing these things, or I'm causing these things.
Who exactly was talking so bad about your son? I still don't know. I don't know. Who was talking that bad about him? Because most of the people I saw, they didn't bring kids into it because they said kids are off limits. That's most of what I saw. So I don't know who brought your kid into it. I don't know. And I'm being truthful and honest. I do not know.
And it was really all too much to bear because I realized that my son had become a target or a vehicle by someone. I thought about how innocent.
Yeah, I didn't do any of the editing right there. Whenever I didn't do that, she did that. So I was sitting there thinking, I was like, what did she say that she didn't want us to hear?
And he doesn't deserve that, you guys. Like, he never deserved that. He never deserved to have anybody on the internet questioning what he goes through. He never deserved being the topic of discussion.
You made him the topic of discussion. You made him the topic of discussion because I have videos where you posted it on Instagram or something like that and you were talking about him. But you don't take accountability.
And for people. Now, I know I'm a public figure now. Trust me, my lawyers tell me these things. But I will also say that I'm not in a position anymore where I even feel comfortable talking about him anymore.
Does this sound familiar? History repeats itself, patterns repeat themselves. Sound familiar? Because right when I came back, I just popped in my head, but right when I came back, she had done this video with like all this rain coming down and all this sadness and whatnot, and she wasn't going to put anything back online, and she didn't feel safe. That's why she's not online right now. Her face is not online right now. Think about this. This was years ago. This video is from years upon years upon years ago. That's it.
I've had a bunch of Ask Me Anythings where people are like constantly asking me questions about him today. And after what I went through, I realized this platform isn't safe for him anymore.
My opinion, it ain't safe for you anymore either. Because you don't like being called out about anything. Somebody calls you out and you're like, no, bad. You pop them on the hand. That's what you do. Don't say anything bad about me. It's not fair.
So that's the truth. The truth about me being canceled is that I've realized a few things about myself. They tried to cancel me.
Oh no, ma'am, you were canceled. That's why you took down the video I did. You were canceled. There was no if, and what, buts about it. You were canceled.
It didn't really work, but I learned a few things about myself. One, I can't talk about my son anymore because it's not fair to him that he somehow becomes entertainment for others.
He is entertainment. How many times here lately on you realize this, right? Way back when, you realize this. How many times on TikTok do you talk about your son? Yeah, my son did this. Yeah, I had to do this with my son. Yeah, I know about feeding tube. Yeah, I know about this. You weren't talking about yourself. You were talking about your son. You didn't stand by this, but everybody else was supposed to stand by this.
People to dissect and decide whether or not I'm a good mother or not. That hurts my heart because I love being a mother. I love him so much. He is the most amazing child. But I also know that people are trying to use him against me, which is completely unfair.
You know what? It's unfair to him. Okay? It's unfair to him. It's not unfair to you. It's unfair to him because certain things will be happening to him and you make it about you. You're like, I'm having to go through this because my son's having to go through this. When my son goes through something, that's what he's going through. I'm just there to help.
Completely ridiculous, to be honest, because he's a 7-year-old boy that's been through heart surgery and brain surgery. And
Do you realize that you just talked about your son? Do you realize that? You don't talk about your son, right? And see, this is what I like to point out to her, because she does this today. All right? She says, don't talk about my son. Did she just talk about her son? Huh? Do we know something about her son? I don't know. Maybe. I might have just heard something about her son. But we keep it off the internet because it upsets her. And she loses hair.
Has nursing, and you know what I mean? Like, he's a good kid, but he has a lot going on. And so I'll never forget the night when I was listening to what they were saying about him and everything clicked. And I realized that he was a vehicle.
Have y'all noticed this is manipulation? Y'all notice that? Because she can't get pity for her hair falling out because she did it for herself, to herself, right? She can't get pity for that. Oh, she's also gaslighting you. So there's one thing in life that she can get pity for. Her son. That's who she can get pity for. That's what she can get pity for. So when she was talking about her son, did you know, about herself and the Amber tapes and all that, did you notice how she said, oh, y'all are not talking about what I want you to talk about? That's what she does. So we switch from hair, Amber, James Charles, to her son. She's bringing up everything negative that she could possibly bring up, and she's bragging in the middle of it, but she's bringing in everything to direct you in another location besides, it's all your fault, Katie. Miss Katie, it is all your fault. Miss Katie, hold yourself accountable. You won't do it.
They were doing these things to hurt me. And I don't know who it was. I don't remember who it was. It doesn't matter who it was, to be honest.
It does matter who it was, because I want to know who it was talking so bad about your child. Because what I was hearing this entire time, what I was hearing was children are off limits. You don't go after children. That's what I heard. Nobody talked about your kid. People talked about you.
I just remember hyperventilating, and I started crying so hard because I thought, oh my God, like, why am I doing this if this is what they're going to say about him, right?
They only know about it because you put it out there. Just saying.
And my hair started falling out.
Your hair started falling out because your son was talked about. Now we know whose fault it is. If her son didn't have problems with him, she wouldn't be in this situation right now, and then her hair wouldn't have fell out. You're going to say, no, that's not the point. I don't care what the point is. She's the one that said it just then. That's when her hair fell out. She didn't say anything about it fell out due to Amber. It fell out due to James Charles and Tati Westbrook. She didn't say that. She says it after she mentions her son. That's real nice.
I lost clumps of hair. A lot of hair. So much hair that today I had to cut all of my hair off.
Do you see why I think she would want to strike this one? Do you see why I think she would want to? Because this portrays her in a very bad light. And I'm not even halfway through it, and I've been talking so much. This video is going to be 2 hours long.
Because I had chunks of hair that fell out of my head because I was so stressed out about what I was doing to myself, what I was doing to my family, whether or not it was going to like...
You did not care. I feel no pity for you. I didn't feel pity for you back then. You didn't care. You've already said you wanted your channel to grow. You got your channel to grow. The cost was your hair.
Affect my family. Trying to decipher whether or not it was worth it for my family to be going through this.
Then why are you still on YouTube and you know you're asking for this, so why are you complaining?
And like just sort of trying to understand the magnitude of all of this stuff, because at the end of the day, all of the things that were said about me were false.
Oh, everything is false. Everything that was said about you was false. Let's get into Shane Dawson and who you directed people to contact. Let's get into that.
All of the tales that people tried to spin about me were not true.
Like you were very mean and you were accusing Matt Bayer of things you shouldn't have been accusing him of? Yeah, not true.
I knew that, but it didn't matter because that didn't stop people from believing it. It also didn't stop people from sending me very terrible messages.
So let me understand this. Let me understand this. People were doing all this bad stuff to you and sending you messages and all that. Who was the one that released the Amber tapes in little bitty segments? You didn't do it all at once. You were like, "Ooh, I need more attention today. I need more attention." That drew a lot more attention to your channel. But the problem is, at the time, you were more worried about what was going on online with you than you were about what was going on behind the scenes with everyone else.
In my inbox and on my, in my inbox, on my social medias, everywhere.
You were the one that asked for the wrath of Amber Portwood. Sorry, you did. Can't say anything else to you. You did it.
And it gets really deflating when you open up your inbox and you have so many of these messages from people.
You have been canceled, and you sometimes don't deserve to be on this platform, but the thing is, and everybody's got to deal with it, you have a spot on this platform. You can have a spot on this platform. As long as you're not messing up, as long as you're not doing anything bad, you have a right to be on this platform. Doesn't matter if people tell you to get off.
Or that you don't deserve to be on this platform, that you should be canceled, that you shouldn't have a job, that what you did was deplorable. And
you got in trouble for not taking accountability. Just like this. This is what you got in trouble for.
And I remember thinking, like, what have I done? Nothing. 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 And I had no one on this platform that would go out on a limb for me.
No one would. I stopped watching her, and then I would go on other channels and I would see stuff about her and saying, do not follow this person. She's giving misinformation out. And I mean, they would just post it. I don't have any of those, but they used to. I kind of found Without a Crystal Ball through other people because, they were talking about Teen Mom, they were talking about Shane, they were talking about James, they were talking about all of this. And she come up one time. And then, at first, everybody agreed with her. Everybody was fine at first. And then she started putting out false information. And then she would not say, I did wrong. She would come online and she would complain because somebody made a video about her doing wrong. Things have not changed.
At all. No one. No one would stick up for me. Finally, another creator named Unirock made a video.
Here's the thing. Listen to her. Nobody stood up for her. She had no friends online, and she didn't. And I don't think she still does. My opinion alone. I still don't think that she has friends online. I don't think she has friends out in the real world. I think she has these imaginary friends, and anybody that talks to her for any little amount of time. I think those are her friends. That's what I think. I don't think she does. I do not think she knows what a real friendship is. I just don't think so. I think she spends so much time online, she forgets about everybody else. She wants to be the first one with the story, and that's why she gets so many exclusives.
Where he sort of started to figure out what was going on and started to piece some things together, and things got dissected, and people started to figure out that the stuff that people were saying that.
You know what? No offense to Unirock. No offense. He's always somewhere. Okay, he's either on one of his many channels. I don't even know how many channels he has, or he's on Twitter, or X now. I mean, he's always somewhere. And Unirock, he'll skip subjects. He'll be on your side, their side, your side, their side, and he's on somebody else. And it's kind of like you can have Unirock support for a little bit of time, and then he disappears. And then he'll come back, and it's like, there he is. Just saying.
The things that people were saying about me weren't actually true, that I didn't do the things that people said. But by that time, the damage to me was already done.
What about the damage to your son? I thought all this stuff happened to your son. I thought you had to act a certain way towards your son. I thought you couldn't talk about your son. But you notice everything is about you, only you, and it will only ever be about you.
Like, I was broken. I was having panic attacks.
All right, man, let's get into panic attacks. My whole attitude, my whole personality, my whole everything changed whenever I started having panic attacks in the floor, crying my eyes out because I couldn't get up. I couldn't get up. My husband having to carry me from the bed to the bathroom. Literally carry me because my panic attacks were so bad I thought I was having a heart attack. I did. I thought something was going to happen to me. He couldn't even get me up. It was so bad. I stopped even trying to breathe. So let's talk about a panic attack. We can talk about those.
I was not sleeping. I could not eat. I lost my freaking hair. I cried almost every day.
So what did you actually lose your hair over? Huh? You've given all these excuses. Why did you lose your hair? Because you took this on. You are responsible for your actions.
Day. I came onto YouTube every day and I did my job and I brought you guys content and I tried to stay through it.
Hey lady, just so you know, I just want to give you a piece of advice. Just piece of advice. So you got me going back and you see that I'm going back through your lives and I'm reacting to them. Piece of advice. Don't go after somebody that knows a lot of truth about you. Don't do it. Don't go after somebody that's been nice to you and hasn't gone after you in a mean, nasty way. I've never cussed at you. I've never done any of that. I am now finding these videos here and I'm going to set the record straight. Because you took one and I'm not going to let you have another one like that one. I'm going to comment through it just like this. I'm not a bad person. You tried to make me be one.
But it was somehow in the middle of all of that, I had to keep going, otherwise I was going to fall apart.
Nope, you had to keep going because you were getting a lot of subscribers and it was boosting your ego, and so you weren't going to give up no matter what situation it came to. You just weren't.
And it made me realize how quickly things online can really go crazy.
Yeah, and they can really go crazy. They really can, and sometimes you start the craziness.
Things can take on a life of their own. People start believing things that they see online because they think that the person telling them is telling them the truth.
Yeah, and people trusted you until they realized that you were telling a lot of little fibs and you were getting things wrong. People trusted you, and you know, just like now, people trust you and you're doing the whole Allison and Twitch thing, and then whenever Blake Lively got brought up and you knew you could do something with them on Instagram and you could get more subscribers, that's what you switched to. That's what you do.
And I didn't know that about YouTube. I didn't realize that there were so many people on the platform that really wanted to hurt people or wanted their clout. And I didn't know.
Clout? Exclusive! Dogger! I'm friends with a Duggar. I'm friends with a Duggar. I'm friends with a Duggar. I'm friends with Lindsay Chrisley. I got Lindsay Chrisley. Every time you had a chance, you would say somebody's name. You dropped names like crazy, so don't you talk about clout.
That there was an entire subset of YouTube that existed to attack and create drama
against you, and it became, a lot of creators started doing that. And they're not even part of the anti-KJ stuff. They just started calling her out every time she got information wrong.
I didn't know that there was literally trolls on YouTube, accounts that...
She calls everybody that went against her a troll. You know, nobody could have the opinion if she was wrong. If she was wrong, they're a troll.
Bebop in between channels and try to create channel, like, rivalries. And I didn't realize that I had picked moderators that were doing that.
Yeah, see, it's moderators' fault. It's always somebody else's fault. Just keep going. Keep saying it's other people, it's trolls' fault that nobody wanted to get along with you and nobody would talk to you. Keep saying it's a troll. It's trolls that are doing that.
I hadn't realized, I was very naive, I trusted the wrong people.
I was very naive to think that you didn't care if people talked about you. I was very naive. I was naive about another creator too, but I was very naive about it, and I was like, you know what, you can criticize her, you just don't go after a kid, or you don't go after this, you don't go after that, you know? And I don't go after looks. I just don't do crap like that. But because I'm nice, it's easy for you to come across, you know, to say what you want. But sometimes I get a lot more passionate, like I am with this one, and so I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just a little bit more passionate because I know the truth behind all of this.
I am too trusting sometimes. Very trusting. Way too trusting.
Do you see how she's gripping her hands? She's gripping her hands way down here real tight, and she's messing with her hands. She cannot form a complete thought right now. She can't. You know, she used to bite her nails. She just can't. I have a fidget ring for that purpose.
I see the good in people, which is why a lot of you guys like me.
Girl, where? Where? Who likes you? What other creator likes you? What other creator liked you back then, and what creator likes you now? Huh? At one point, Molly Golightly came on your channel, and you just whipped her off, didn't you? Yep.
Tell me that. You say to me, Katie, we love you because you stick up for the underdog. You
Bull-larky. Where's a mirror? Mirror time.
Provide hope to the people that feel hopeless. You stick up for the people that have been on the margins. You stand up for them. You advocate for them.
And you trash a bunch of small channels because even back then you said they're not as big as me. Look at who has more subscribers. Look at that. Look at my channel. I'm not worried about them. Still do it today.
You help them find a voice. You say the things that we want to say, but at the same time, you also put a mark on your head when you do that because you piss a lot of people off.
Yes, you did. No friends. None. People saying that you weren't worth anything because you lied. And you have to make up some kind of story. You have to. Because you will not come out and say, I did this all to myself. I never should have released those tapes because Amber Portwood, she is a bigger thing than I am. Amber has more of a platform than you do, even now. But you wanted to go after a bigger person. You went after a bigger person, and they put you back down in your spot. And you started losing subscribers at one point.
So I pissed off a lot of Amber Portwood's fans, and I pissed off some creators that wanted the story that I got.
No, you made people mad because you were bragging about them. And then some drama went down with Shane Dawson. I hope you talk about it. Oh, I hope you talk about it. No, I haven't watched this in a while. I hope you talk about it.
I pissed off people for speaking out and sharing my opinion on things. I pissed off subscribers because they got blocked by some of my moderators that are no longer on this channel.
You blocked them. You told your moderators what to do. My opinion, only my opinion. Everything in here is my opinion because I won't shut up. But you told them to block half of them, or you blocked them yourself, and then you complained about it and said, and when you block people, they're not going to be your subscriber.
And I'm not always good about people not liking me.
Yeah, you are. You use it for pity. Yeah, you are.
I like to be liked, and it's hard not people to be like, Katie, stop reading the hateful comments.
You go on Instagram and you delete hateful comments because you just cannot take it. You can't. You don't let people have their own opinion. You form an opinion and then you pass it on down to your audience, and your audience is supposed to have the same opinion. When they don't have that opinion, ooh, does it make you mad?
And I couldn't stop reading the hateful comments because I wanted to know why. I wanted to know why people hated me. I wanted to prove people wrong, but I realized that no matter what I said, no matter what I did, no matter what I put out, people didn't believe me.
Nope, because you lied about the Shane Dawson thing. You lied about it.
If I put something out, they would say I was lying. If I tried to defend myself, I was lying. If I was truthful about getting hacked, it was I was hiding things. Or if I was defending myself, it was because I was guilty.
Yeah, you were. And talking about hacked, your Facebook account is hacked. okay? Your old one, it got hacked, right? That's what you said. You made fun of Gypsy getting hers hijacked. Yep, you did. You thought it was oh so funny because she lost all of her subscribers, or all of her, yeah, subscribers. You thought that would be funny. You were on cloud nine for that, but I don't even think that you cared about the people over on Facebook. I don't think you did, because you didn't get to the comment sections over there.
And then if I didn't defend myself, it was that I was guilty. I couldn't win no matter what I was doing.
Nobody can win now with you, because you got to be right about everything. If you're not right and they don't say you're right, you whine and moan and complain. You used to get online and cry. I didn't follow you for a long time after the Amber thing because I realized how bad you were.
And now I understand like how helpless that feels, but I also understand like the emotional baggage that comes with. And I haven't recovered.
And you are still on YouTube, still doing the same dabbling thing.
I haven't. I haven't recovered at all. I'm recovering.
But you haven't. You haven't. At all.
My hair is recovering. I lost so much hair, you guys.
Okay, somebody tell me, did she lose hair because of the tapes? Did she lose her hair because of James Charles, Tati Westbrook, her son, or other creators not being her friends, not sticking up for her? What made her lose her hair? Somebody tell me. I am 23 minutes in, and I don't know who made her lose her hair or what made her lose her hair. No clue.
I'm not having panic attacks anymore. I'm not responding to comments about me. I'm not reading things that people say about me.
You know what? I wish, because you don't want to read things that people say about you. You don't read the good things sometimes, and you don't read the bad things. What I wish is that you would pay attention to your audience. That's what I would like. I would like them to be able to leave a comment in your comment section, and you leave it alone and understand that you're not always right. You try to be right. You're not always right. So I think you need to let your subscribers have their own opinion. But the reason why I say that they're supposed to think like you and be like you is because if they don't, you delete them.
I think what I've learned more than anything is that on YouTube, it's very, very easy for things to spread that are not true.
Yep, and it's very, very easy for you to post things that's not true, just like the picture of Derek Dillard sitting by Jim Bob. How you were so upset that upset you so much. And then you found out you were wrong.
For creators to do things to get views and clicks and do so and create storylines in order to gain interest and sort of get excitement around themselves, to get better views, to get subscribers.
So that's not you, right? That's not you. That's not you getting your own story about Miss Amber. That's not you. No, Miss Katie's perfect.
Kind of stuff. And you see these sort of dramas happening all the time. There's been other there's been other channels that have created fake drama specifically to get attention and to get people interested in what they're doing. And that's what happened to me, except I didn't know people were making the fake drama. I wasn't in on the joke.
You know what's funny? I could leave it on here, but I actually put call me crazy, but I don't. Hold on. Let me tell you what I put. Call me crazy, but I don't ever want you to say my channel name. Every time you say a channel's name, yes, they get views, but they also get your drama. I'm perfectly fine in my bubble on my own little channel. That's what I wrote a while ago. See what happens?
And unfortunately, there's still people out there today that think what happened then was still what I did and doesn't matter anymore. There's a small group of people that still think that I did these things, which I did not. You
know what? It wouldn't matter if you just stopped doing them. Just stop doing them and nobody can say you're doing them. If you don't do something, they can't accuse you of it, right? Wait a second. We never know what Miss Katie's doing, what Miss Katie's not doing. So disregard that comment.
And I'll never change their minds. But I also know that there's, in order to heal and in order to like really move forward, the best thing that I can do is just like forgive everyone for what happened.
You want to know something? When I was doing this, Jordan told me that if I didn't talk so much, wouldn't take me so long to edit. I wrote that in there. He told me I talked too much. It's his fault.
And ask people to just stop. If it still affects you and you need to talk about it, let it go.
If you need to talk about something, let it go. Don't go talk to somebody about it. Don't go have a conversation. Oh, no. You don't do that. You let it go. Miss Katie, let it go.
You know what I mean? Like, yammering about it on Twitter every day for 5 months isn't going to change what happened. It's not going to make the people that did things.
Yeah, she didn't even like people going against her back then and even forming the anti-KJ community.
Speak their truth or be honest. No matter what we say, no matter what we do, if you spend your time worrying about what the other people are doing and trying to get them to be held accountable, it's not going to work.
You're talking about accountability, but you're the one that got ran off Twitter. X. At the time it was Twitter. Yeah, when I typed this, it was Twitter. Yeah, you were the one that got ran off, and you had no engagement over there whatsoever at all, and it would make you so mad because you'd see people talking about you, but people wouldn't interact with your post.
People can only be accountable until they can actually admit what they've done.
Okay, so admit everything you did wrong. Come on, we need a video like that.
And if they can't admit what they've done, no amount of like harassing them on Twitter, no amount of spamming them, making videos about them is going to change their mind. Nothing is going to help them get there.
Talking about yourself once again and not even knowing it.
They have to get there themselves. And they have to be able to admit what they've done.
Yeah, and people that are now talking to you behind the scenes, they have to now be held accountable, and now then they'll have to know that it's their fault. They did it. They shouldn't talk to you. They did. It's their fault. They have to be held accountable for that.
And if they don't want to admit what they've done, then you just need to leave them alone, because
in other words, she's saying, leave me alone and let me say what I want to say and don't criticize me.
they want you to talk about them. They want you to bring attention to them. They want you to make videos about them. They want attention on them, whether it's good or bad, it doesn't matter to them. They want you to do these things because they want to be relevant.
Lady, I make videos on you and it's not to be relevant. I'm having fun on YouTube. And the moment that I stopped having fun on YouTube, I left.
So the best thing all of you can do is to just not feed into it. I haven't fed into it.
Oh, yes, you have. That's why you're on here complaining. Oh, yes, you have. You're on here complaining because you saw a bunch of stuff that you didn't think was fair to you.
So many of my subscribers haven't fed into it. I think cancel culture is toxic.
This is so awesome. You're telling on yourself. You don't even realize when you do it. The crazy horse lady that talks too daggone much and gets herself in trouble all the time. That's me.
I said before, and I'll say it again a million times, YouTube is a humongous space. It is enormous. It is gigantic.
But it's small enough to come across the creator like you.
There is content creators for days. There are so many people that can give you content, that do what I do, that can deliver you a story similar to what I do.
And see, that's the thing. Everybody to you, every person to you is a story. They're involved in a story. So you need them for your story.
But every single content creator, the amazing thing about YouTube is that every content creator speaks to somebody specifically. And if it's you, that's amazing.
Okay, so who spoke to you? You were just complaining and whining that you had nobody to stand up for you, besides Uni. So who was standing up for you and who were you able to talk to? Just a question.
And if it's not for you, find a new content creator to listen to, right? There's no need to hate creators simply for hating them.
Lady, I can watch some of my favorite creators, and because you're so deep in it, you're like not hardly posting anymore, but you were talking so much about Gypsy, they even said Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Yep, I had to do a video on that one because I was like, I wasn't even back yet. I didn't know any of this stuff going on with Gypsy and all that. But I heard that and I was like, why are you everywhere? I come across you in the first place through somebody else's channel talking about you having Amber tapes and you were exclusive with those. That's how I come across you. Somebody else. That's the way it works.
If you don't agree with them, you have every right to criticize them. If you think that they've done something and you have valid criticisms, criticize them.
Yep, I'm doing that and you don't like it and you're going to do everything you can to make me stop.
That's what free speech is all about.
Free speech is okay as long as they're not talking negative about you.
But going after and continuing to hammer and harass and yammer, it's not going to solve anything. It's not going to change anything.
And you're proving that right now because I don't think you've changed at all.
And it's not going to make anything better. What I really wish,
you know what? I think she's reading her chat and getting even more upset. That's what I think. And I think she don't like it.
if you are one of my subscribers that loves my channel because I speak out against online bullying,
because that's what she says was happening to her. But she's not one to anybody else. No, her channel. No, she's not mean to any other channel. No.
I don't want you to be a part of that same online bullying.
Then don't be it yourself.
If you feel so upset that I was wronged, harvest that energy into helping somebody feel good.
Did you get that? Did you get the manipulation? Did you get it? Stick up for me, don't stick up for anybody else. Go stick up for me everywhere. Go ahead and change that from me to somebody else. She's talking to her subscribers that held on her every word just like they do now.
Use that energy to make yourself feel good. Use your energy to make a difference in your community.
Yep, I do. My community is called Anti-KJ, and I love it very, very, very much. They're the most accepting group I've ever seen, even from the last group I was in. They are so accepting. They understand. They have a heart. They have things that Miss Katie does not have. And so I'm honored to be a part of it.
Develop a platform where you can share your experience or help someone going through it. But don't feel like social media vigilante justice is going to be counterproductive.
It means don't come after me. Don't come after me. No, counterproductive. Don't come after me. I'm going to sit over here. I'm going to be by myself. I'm going to say what I want to say, and I don't care who it runs. Don't come after me.
Are going to be productive. In fact, it's going to be counterproductive. So everyone needs to let it go. Today,
let it go. No matter if she did something bad or not. Let it go.
And let it go. I cut my hair and I got rid of it. And I want you guys to know that as much as I hate what it did to my hair.
You started this on your own and now you're back to your hair. You have not said what actually caused your hair to fall out.
It'll grow on me. I'm not loving it. I feel like I don't know. I'll get there. Okay.
You know what? I didn't make that edit, so I have no idea what edit she made. Not a clue.
I just want to go through my super chats to make sure. Let's see. In memory of Mason, thank you, Bunny Bunny.
I don't remember what that was about. I don't. I'm sorry.
Mariah Kirkman, $1. Thank you, Mariah.
You got $1. Oh goodness gracious! I never send chats or send money or anything, and it's because I stay on my little channel normally. Because if I go anywhere else, I get in trouble.
Mindless Bumblebee, thank you for becoming a member. Carrie H, when you went high when they went low. That's what I want all of you guys to do.
Whatever.
When they go low, we go high. I don't want people to engage in this online harassment of anyone.
Then leave people alone. You don't like it done to you, but you'll do it to somebody else.
Thank you for becoming a member, Elizabeth Sabia. Mary Richardson says, you're a good mom and a good person. Never forget. Thank you, Mary. I won't.
Why is she able to talk about your child? Huh? You're not even thinking about that, are you? A mom. The way you're a mom is because of your child. Why is she able to mention your child? Huh? Because you have double standards and it does not click into your head that you are the one talking about him. And you are allowing only nice comments about him. And you're only using him whenever it's beneficial to you. Check the knowledge.
Shauna Reed, welcome to Standing. You upgraded. Leroy, thank you for your super chat. Crazy Cast, thank you for your super chat.
Listen to her. Thank you for your super chat. You really don't matter to me, but I'm gonna go ahead and thank you anyways because I know there's people talking bad about me in the chat and I don't like it.
Marissa Burnett, thank you for your super chat. In honor of Mason and the new hairstyle, Lady Page. Rockame28, thank you for becoming a member.
Dang, this little sympathy trip got her a bunch of members, didn't it?
Jennifer, thank you for your super chat. Dina, you'll catch up. And that should be it. So,
Ooh, she hardly got anything.
how can you support me? Don't buy into it. Don't try to cancel other creators. Remember that things that go out and are put out are always somebody else's opinion. Opinions are fine.
Opinions are not fine when it comes to you. Opinions are fine whenever it's positive to you.
When I talk about other people, don't send them messages. Don't be mean to them.
Why are you cutting pieces of this out? Why? Leave it all there. You said it.
All of this none of that is productive. All of that is unproductive. Use that as an opportunity to just talk and think and reflect.
And then let it go. If you need to talk, let it go.
Okay.
You know what? It's so early in the morning. I don't even know if I'm going to post this. I got a little
Slow mode is on. What you believe is right, and I'm sorry you had to deal with this crap, and you do because of spreading awareness about subjects that are important to you.
Yeah, well, some of those subjects you quit covering really, really fast, didn't you?
Thank you. So I was passionate about doing the Amber Portwood stuff because of the DV. I am passionate about the Duggar content.
Yeah, because that makes you a lot of money.
Because I have gone through similar spiritual abuse and I know what that's like. I'm passionate about doing the polygamy stuff because of just...
You know what? I'm passionate about my family and my life that's going on here. I'm not passionate about things that are going on online because this is just, like I said, fun for me. I don't dive in and I don't hang on to every